I'm going to read to you Matthew chapter 24, verses 37 to 39 from the New World Translation, 1984 edition. These are the words of Jesus. He says, "For just as the days of Noah were, so the presence of the Son of Man will be. For as they were in those days before the flood, eating and drinking, men marrying, and women being given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And they took no note until the flood came and swept them all away, so the presence of the Son of Man will be." So Jesus said that the end of the world would be compared to the days of Noah, where they were eating and drinking and being given in marriage. And it says they took no note until the flood came. What does it mean to take note? I found this expression a little bit strange. They took no note. So I went on the internet and I checked, what does it mean to take note of something? And it said it means to give special attention to something or to give heed to something. And I still found this a little bit strange. It says, in the days of Noah, they didn't take note. So what does it mean that they didn't give attention? They didn't give attention to the signs around them. They didn't give special attention. So I went on the internet and I checked what other translations say, and I'm gonna read them to you. And I want to get your opinion if you feel that it is if it means the same thing as the New World Translation, to take note of something. So this is on the Bible Hub, where they have all the different translations, and I'll just read to you what it says there. New International Version says, instead of take note, it says, "And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away." New Living Translation, people didn't realize what was going to happen until the flood came. English Standard Version, and they were unaware until the flood came. And so as I'm reading this, does that mean the same thing as take note, to give special attention to? It says they knew nothing, they didn't realize, they were unaware. The next one, Berean Bible, says they were oblivious. New American Standard says, and they did not understand. What didn't they understand? NASB 1995 translation says, and they did not understand. 1977 edition of NASB says they did not understand. Amplified Bible says, and they did not know or understand. Christian Standard Bible says, they did not know. Holman Christian Standard Bible says, they didn't know. Contemporary English Version says, they didn't know anything was happening until the flood came. Good News Translation, they did not realize. God's Word Translation, they were not aware of what was happening. International Standard Version, they were unaware. Net Bible says, and they knew nothing. And I thought the Weymouth New Testament says, their translation says, nor did they realize any danger till the deluge came and swept them all away. So all these translations, there's like 40 of them, and they're all pretty consistent in the message, saying that these people didn't realize, they didn't understand what was happening, which means something from take note of. The New World Translations is in a different meaning altogether. And I checked the 2013 edition of the New World Translation, because the Jehovah's Witnesses changed so much in their new translation. I was expecting them to revise this phrase, and they kept it exactly the same. They took no note. So, if you're looking at all these translations, what did people not know? We see all the signs around us. Do people know? Do they perceive? Do they understand? Do they realize that we are in danger? I think everybody knows we are in big trouble right now. What's happening with our economy, and what's happening with our environment, with wildfires, and we see on the news. I don't think there's a single person on this planet who doesn't know, realize, understand, perceive that we are in danger. So I don't know which translation is correct, because these translators like to put their own meaning to the words. So which one is right? And I kind of find both of these not really making sense, because people do know what's happening. So, but the problem is people are not responding. They're not reacting to what's happening. But none of these translations say that. So, so what did Jesus say? And I don't know what the original Greek or Aramaic for Matthew chapter 24 is what exactly were the words that Jesus said? Did Jesus say that people would not know? And what did he mean by that? Because people do know. Is the New World Translation not being accurate in saying take note? Because take note means to give it. What does it mean to take note? What does it mean to give special attention to something? So if we are giving special attention to the signs that are obvious, we don't need Jesus to tell us about signs of the end of the world. They're right before our face constantly. What is it says they did not take note, or they didn't know, or give special attention to. What should they have done? What does it mean to give special attention to something? If we're giving attention to it, I'm not really saying this right, but I think you know where I'm going. If I could get your comments on this, is this a mistranslation? How should people be responding to what's happening? What is the right response? Thank you.